Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing my 1-year review of the iKamper Skycamp 3.0. Let's jump into it. First we got to open it with this key. I don't personally love having another key on my set of keys, but the protection driving down the road knowing it won't open is a good peace of mind to have. Just pops right up, never mind these straps. These are for closing it. Comes with a nice ladder cover so it doesn't rip your tent. It has a telescoping ladder. And to get it to the height you need it, you just click these two little buttons. And I like to make sure that, I like to pull on it a few times, because if this isn't set up the right way and this comes down, you just ruin the entire thing. It has a nice, here, let me see that. It has a nice pouch up here to hold my, let's see if we can get that on there. Yeah, a nice pouch to hold all of the awning poles. It has four or six poles. The two long ones are for the front. And this is about the hardest part of setting it up, so it's pretty easy, but this is a bit annoying, but it's not too bad. You'll get the hang of it. Especially if you're tall. This is one feature of the Skycamp that I prefer over the Roof Nest Condor XL that I had, because the range here, it's right here, it's so much shorter. On the Roof Nest, I'm 6 feet tall and I was reaching for it and it just didn't feel very safe. So this is a pleasant upgrade from the previous rooftop tent. So when I'm setting up, I just roll up both the interior canvas and the screen. And I'll have to take you inside now. Alright, now we're inside the Skycamp, and the first thing you'll notice is this awesome mural of the world. It really adds to the environment and makes it not feel like tent camping quite as much. Kind of gives it a bit of a home away from home feel, for me at least. The next most important thing that is immediately noticeable when you're sitting in here is the quality of this fabric is absolutely incredible. It's thick, almost no light can get through it at all. So when you wake up in the morning, I wake up kind of late even though we're camping, so the sun is gonna come up around 6 and I want to sleep until 8. So it completely blocks out all of the sun and you can sleep in. You open the windows and it gets a really nice cross breeze. The windows are very easy to open. Unlike my previous Roof Nest where you had to set up the awning with the metal poles, this comes with these awesome little drawstrings, so you can just quickly set this up. If I'm camping at a rest stop, I'll just come in here. It takes me 2 seconds to get airflow in here rather than having to mess around and put an all 6 of the poles in the windows, which is honestly the most annoying part of having a rooftop tent, is just putting in the poles for the windows. So I just love this. This is my favorite aspect of this entire thing, and really what sold me on purchasing this in the first place. I know that sounds lazy, but when you open this up so many times and close it so many times, you'll start to understand. The bed comes in 2 pieces. I don't know why they did that. It doesn't really make any sense to me. But this piece just comes up here when you want to pack this away, and you just push it out there. It kind of makes this weird little space here, but it's fine because in here, when the family's sleeping in here, we lay this way. So it's about where your knees would be. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have plenty of space. So this little ridge here from the 2 separate pieces doesn't really make a big difference. We can fit 2 adults and 2 children. My children are 7 and 9. We're pushing the limits of what is really available for space in here. But in a pinch, when you're on the road and you want to stop at a rest stop and sleep for 6 hours, everybody gets in here. Even if it's cold out, you're warm enough, and it really does fit everybody. But if you are on a 6-day camping trip, I don't know if I would want to sleep 4 people in here all the time. There's nothing stopping you other than if you're okay being that close with people all the time, you can do it. Another huge upgrade from the roof nest that I had before this are I believe they're called YKK zippers. Don't quote me on that, but these zippers are smooth as butter, and they never ever get caught up. So that's huge, because when you're rooftop tent camping, you got to break this down every time you want your truck to go somewhere. So it's not like setting up a tent at the campsite and it's just there. No, you want to go out to the mountain, you're taking your bike out, you go into a restaurant, whatever. This is up and down every time you move. So ease of setting up and breaking down is like the most important thing that you'll learn. So spending a few extra 100 or 500 hours or whatever it is totally worth it for your comfort, peace of mind, and just the ease of the headache of setting these up. This unit has a homey feel because of the quality of fabric that I mentioned before. It doesn't feel like a tent to me. It has a thick canvas rather than a plasticky nylon smell, and it's just really, really comfortable, and I think it maintains heat better, and also the condensation didn't seem to be as much of a problem in here so far. I took the roof nest with my family to Colorado for a 16-day trip where we slept in this every night, and the condensation, it definitely built up with 4 people breathing in here and trying to stay warm when it was cold out at night. Definitely had to leave a window open, but there was still condensation. I don't have that much of a problem in here so far, so I'll keep you posted on whether or not it's better or worse in the long run. But as of right now, the condensation doesn't seem as bad. The skylight in the Skycamp is really nice. I love being able to look out at the stars at night, and it really opens up the feel. I don't know if it offers very much to the airflow in here, but it feels big in here because of it. And my wife gets very claustrophobic in small places. Even our old roof nest tent, she hated being in it. This tent is not that way for her. Alright, so now we're going to get to the fun part. We're going to close it up. And this is where this unit really shines for me, because taking the roof nest Condor XL down was a pain in the ass. you could not push the fabric in enough. It always falls out the side, and you're like, okay, I'll go open one side, I'm gonna go back to the other side and open it again. Oh, and the other side came out. Well, let's get a stick and start shoving it in, and then you rip your tent. So this unit is not that way. That's what those straps earlier that I showed you when I was opening it are for. It pulls it all in, and you pull it down, and it wraps up really nice. I can get it closed in, I'm gonna jinx myself right now, but I can get it closed in about a minute. So now that I just lied about that, because obviously it's gonna not go easy for me, we'll give it a go. One thing I did forget to mention earlier is that there's 2 zippers here, and this is actually really important. You get to choose how far you want it up and down. You can choose if you want the screen open, and I always like to leave the screen open if I can, because if there's no bugs, I want as much outdoor space as I can. So that's really cool. This is a small side note. You throw the second mattress all the way to the back. Make sure it's back as far as it can, because it's going to mess you up if it's not. You don't want it halfway on the bed, off the bed, all the way to the back. They say that you can put blankets and stuff in here. You can't do it. Don't bother trying. You're going to waste your time. Something I'd like to see on these, and I might even add it myself, I don't know if it's possible, but instead of having 2 little clips that like wrap around each other, I'd like to put a button on here and just button it to the top, because that takes a little extra time, and anything to save time, honestly. So just let it fall down on its own. Don't push on it or anything. Don't forget your ladder cover. I like to make sure both of these ropes are a little higher up. You don't want it down here. You want it up here to pull it in. Keep it nice and tight. Keep the pressure even across the whole thing. Pull it in. It's a little hard at this point because it's just letting the air out. But once the air goes out, it's pretty easy. Now take all your rope and stuff it in there. Now, if you did it right, there won't be anything sticking out on either side, but don't worry, it still happens, but it's very easy to get put back in on this. So I didn't have the ropes right on it, so it's super easy. Let's just stuff it in. That won't fall back out when I go do the other side now. Just a tiny bit over here. Let me show you. Just a sliver of it is hanging out. It's just all my beer cans falling out of the car. Don't worry about it. Just kidding, just kidding. All right, now we just gotta lock it back up. Always make sure it's locked, because this will open up while you're driving and you will have a bad time. That's it. It's as simple as that. You have an awesome tent on the top of your truck. It's clean, it's comfortable, it's warm, and your wife will probably agree to go camping now, because you know she's not going to sleep on the ground in a tent. So it's expensive, but it's worth every penny, because you're going to get out there with it.